As we know, our journalism for ground and they inside they deal with under a very tough situation because Cameroon government, they don't have press freedom. It's a government, a tyranny government, dictatorship, where they get less tolerance for free speech. Journalism for Cameroon, they often end for prison. Some of them they end up for disappear when they criticize Cameroon government. So we understand this situation. They don't get freedom of press. Most of the one the way they talk for press, some of them now one the way they either try to please the regime or one the way they be hired or they be paid for do so. We know say Cameroon government it give stipends, it gives small money for journalists them when they attend events or press conference them, so they are not really free. In this background, we go on for address and give some comment for a very important show where it will take place for prime time television. That show will be hosted by Mr. Kum Leonard and courtesy of the TV channel. We go on for play those videos and I will put the Ambazonian perspective. This show will take place I think on the 3rd of June or somewhere around that period. So I will play our technical staff will play the video and then we will bring Ambazonian perspective as we go along. Go ahead, please.
Of the upper house, I'm standing here as a senator of the republic to tell you that this war is real. Whoever is refusing that this war is real, I think that he should be checked. And going on the other side of people, we have talked about people like Capo Daniel and people like Ayoba.
Stop it for a minute. So this commentator, where na Dr. Ndi Manjo, where they always appear for prime time, he make a very powerful statement. Say one of the good things where Ambazonia defeat taken from the issue of Regina Mundy, he arrests and he eventually break out from Ambazonian custody. Now the fact of the statement we make him for airport for Bamenda, we talk for the colonial governor directly, say this war is real. That is a very powerful message. It is a message we would hear for Cameroonian TV. Say, you never ever reach for Paul Biya. We don't believe that. Because Paul Biya as a president get the highest network of intelligence where they report for you and a responsibility for know exactly which way it happened. We don't believe in all those excuses. Paul Biya know very well what it happened. But the fact say, sometime a dictator, people they fear for talk true for you. They want to talk nothing we go please see. But in certain circumstances, somebody like Regina Mundy will then be arrested for illegally represent Ambazonia without any mandate or being an elected person as a senator. He then be arrested for that crime. He then go through very tough time, loss of freedom. He then be charged. He then be convicted of high treason. The experience of all these things, despite the fact say, unfortunately, he be break out of our custody. He then make give you a unique opportunity where he then deliver a very powerful message when a very good one. So maybe we'll continue for day.
So I think that we have a message to give them, and that I think that they are like playing with people's lives. We should be very, very careful, because you reach at this particular point in time where they themselves feel that lives, they have to discriminate between lives. We saw what happened to the prison superintendent in Kumbu, and many other people like this who are actually slaughtered in broad daylight. I think that it is humane. Don't they also think that that was a diplomatic issue when they do something on Monday Vision and the world sees what they are doing and people are accepting that they are paying allegiance to Capo Daniel, they are paying allegiance to Ayabacho? This is still something, a diplomatic issue. I think that everybody should be treated the way that Senator Mundy was treated. If you find that somebody has done something wrong, I know this is a war of legitimacy. If you find that somebody has done something wrong, you should be able to correct that person as we have done with this murder. I think it is. Everybody is happy. Particularly, I'm happy because we came at the point whereby they were giving her days, and there were even already videos around where people, trying to send out information that she was already killed. I think it is good that she's alive.
You see, when somebody...
Okay, let this technical stuff we stop there. So, Dr. Ndi Manjo, he talks say, me, your humble spokesperson, Capo Daniel, and Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, the president of Ambazonia Governing Council, that we are playing with human life, that we are there dealing with life and death situation, and eventually the woman have gone through the experience and he's happy that the woman is alive. Which I want to make our people then know very much. When these journalists them, where they call themselves professionals, political scientists, commentators, some of them now people na teacher them where they teach you university, they come on for TV and they advocate, they make not even advocate, but they give their commentary for assert the truth. Say the southern Cameroon, where the succession state na Ambazonia, it be wrongly assimilated, annexed by La République du Cameroon. When they make the case, say there is no union between La République or du Cameroon and Ambazonia. Now them they play with life because they don't understand the ramification. The ramification, now say our people they don't lost their dignity. The ramification, now say our people they don't get ability for get representative them like lawmaker, they don't first vote. They don't create political party. Institution where they organize them appropriately, such as the All Anglophone Conference, it'll be discarded and it'll be considered like a non-entity by La République. Even something like the consortium, it be banned. Their nationality it be banned. They be lost. Millions of people in Ambazonia they die and they suffer destitution as a result of this Cameroon occupation. More people they die from poverty from Cameroon occupation than they die for this war itself. When these people them they can't stand, they make that case. Me they understand the ramification. Say it is a life or death matter. That is why Pobia declare war based on this ideology. These are the people who are playing with people's life. When they think that they can come on TV and look good by just making intellectual ideas about people's life, and they don't know that it have real ramification in the life of the common people. They can be there in Douala and they enjoying their life, eating their mackerel, eating their fufu, enjoying their good life. They should know that people in Ambazonia, they are suffering. The poverty is too much. More than 99% of our people, they want to leave that country for greener pastures elsewhere because there is no hope. There is no freedom. They face at the same time a genocidal regime that kills people. This is what they are facing. So when you come there, Mr. Manjo, and you are saying that Cameroon government don't have any union with La République, you are joking with sovereignty. The sovereign power is bigger than any life of any civilians. That's why it is international law for countries to take measures to protect their integrity and their sovereignty. Remember that even the United States had won the war about any possibility of Cameroon joining with La République. That is going to become a catastrophe. We are suffering from that catastrophe today. And we have every right to fight to free our people. We are not playing with people's life. If you think that Mrs. Mundy, she deserves punishment, the punishment should be appropriate. It should be proportional. For high treason, when you betray the whole country, the only punishment all over the world, the minimum is life imprisonment. In America, high treason is punishable by death. In America. So when you say that we should punish her, the only punishment you can give to Regina Mundy in the middle of this war is death punishment. That's it. So you people are the ones playing with life. Don't come to media. You are advocating that Ambazonian people have the right for self-defense. And at the same time, you don't think that we can actually use that right. Don't come and say that we are fighting a war, that there is a real war. That Atanganji Paul who says that there is no war is a Satan. And then at the same time, you don't believe that we should use gun. We are fighting against terrorists. Cameroon terrorists. These are people who have designated all of our people to be killed. And the military are going ahead and doing it. And when we carry out actions, you think that we are playing a child's game. We are not playing with the life of people. We are saving the life of our people. So let's continue. We go to the next thing that they said there.
What is her crime?
That is the question, because up to now, we have not the crime is just that she's working for La Republique, and I'm asking myself if it is a crime. They say that they are of a different country, and that nobody who is working in Yaoundé should come to their country or should be in their country. I mean, I'm asking myself, what country are they talking about? What diplomatic relations do they have? Where is the seat of the country? And that is where the problem is.
If that's her crime,
hold on, technical staff. Hold on. So, Mr. Manjo, he talk say the crime where if I talk staff, I don't know. Sometimes they babble. I just think say they live in so much fear where they no feel react with their normal mind. They are afraid. Mr. Manjo is afraid because if he speaks the truth, then he will die. But he should not be on this program if he cannot speak the truth. If he cannot speak his mind. Most of them come there just because they want the small allowance that they will give them, small pocket money to pay their transport that they will give them to go back home. But he has to know the truth. We have clearly articulated to our people the charges of Mrs. Mundy, so you cannot say you did not know. Then after he said the crime of Mrs. Mundy, na say we talk say it represent La Republique, Ambazonia inside La Republique. Yes, that is the crime. That is treason. Any Ukrainian now, where he talk say it represent Ukraine for inside Russia as a Russian territory, will be arrested. Any Palestinian, you cannot be in Palestine and you say that you represent Palestine in Israel parliament. You'll be arrested. Those of them who are parliamentarian in Israel, they are living in Israel-controlled territory. So anybody where the nobody elect you, Cameroon appoint you using this a fraudulent election for represent Ambazonia inside La Republique of Cameroon against the aspiration and wish of our people, you don't commit high treason. We don't announce them, all Ambazonian activists, all have agreed and make announcement that there should be consequences for betrayal and for treason. So there is no doubt about it. So when they talk, say, you don't know which country, be say we get our own country. And then the same time, in other clips, it talk, say, Southern Cameroon don't have any union with La Republique du Cameroon. It makes sense because these people are clearly not making sense. They are living in a bubble. Mr. Manjo have to come back to his senses. The Southern Cameroon, the British Southern Cameroon that he spends his time to defend, he spends his time to articulate that does not have any union with La Republique of Cameroon is Ambazonia. It is one and the same thing. Ambazonia is a succession state of the former British Southern Cameroon. It is the indigenous name of the former British Southern Cameroon. It has been articulated in court by Goji Dinka. It has been represented diplomatically by Ambazonian people. We as a people, in our right of self-determination, have the right to choose the name and political outlook of our territory. And our people have embraced the Ambazonian flag on the 1st of October 2018. They have embraced the identity, they have embraced the national anthem, and we have all rights to call it Ambazonia. And if you are a puppet in Ambazonia representing La Republique in our territory, you will be arrested. That's the law of the land. You should know that you will be arrested. It's not a matter of debate. So let's continue the clip.
John Ako, you are also liable to the same crime.
One of the things is not really the case. I just started saying that in a struggle, in a fight of this nature, there are always sacrifices on both sides. And at times, one other party needs to stand in a position that will inform the other that he also is in a position of force. And one of the things which we said, that if it could go by arresting and releasing, then the Anglophone crisis will have a perfect cause. But if we start
Can you stop there a little bit? So I love this guy, Dr. Ako John Ako. I just love him. He has been very consistent. Despite all the challenges of operating in that system, he has been very consistent. So there are actually say, me say, you too, they commit the same crime like Mrs. Mundy. And he make a very powerful point. He says that in this situation of war, the other party needs to show that they also are strong. They need to also to demonstrate strength. And there shall be sacrificial lambs, talking about the people that have to be sacrificed for this type of war. And he even go to mention that Regina Mundy, arrested by the Ambazonian Defense Forces, and her whole ordeal was reasonable according to his commentary and his own opinion. And he's dead right. In a situation where the one party, the former British Southern Cameroon, a state, have been annexed, have been recolonized, and is waging fighting against a war of subjugation by the aggressor state, La République du Cameroon, we must show force. We must demonstrate our ability to arrest those who seek to undermine us. John Akko is definitely right. Let's continue.
Arresting or kidnapping and assassinating or slaughtering, it becomes an evil. Within the present stakes, it equally happens that it might be a crime to Regina Mundy for citing the government in the sense that some...
So, Dr. Akko John, he talks say, actually, it might be a crime for what Regina Mundy is doing. And I really appreciate that he's a little bit, he's honest, even though he cannot really come out to say the truth because he will be killed. There's no free speech there. But he says that Regina Mundy, it's possible that she has committed a crime, even though he condemns killing and all those stuff. But what do you expect for people who kill? Even the Bible says that you should pay an eye for an eye. You must consider the gravity of the crime of enabling. Enabling genocide, enabling recolonization. Colonization is defined under the Geneva Convention and under international law as a crime against humanity. So for the crime against humanity, something that violates every tenet of law, if you are a party to that crime, the proportional punishment to give you, in most countries, life imprisonment or death. And in a war situation like this under a military tribunal, what do you expect? If you are a parliamentarian, if you are a senator representing Ambazonia in La République, you don't have a mandate. Our people have never voted you. You must be doing so knowingly, making the choice to become an impostor, to misrepresent our people. So you must accept the consequences because what you are doing is wrong. What you're doing is wrong. They know that they are not elected. They know that our people don't want them to be there. But they choose to be there because they want to fatten up their pocket and look for opportunities for their family members and their children at the expense of our people. To sell our people so that they will continue in destitution, in poverty, and they will continue to live fat and be treated like kings and queens. Gone are those days. Let's continue.
Of them who are within the cycles, they call it the hemicycles of lawmaking, have been unable. In fact, it is sad that the US Senate is discussing Cameroon. It is sad that the United Nations Human Rights Commission is discussing Cameroon. It will be sad that the United Kingdom House of Commons talks of Cameroon, and the country itself, those we call the lawmakers, have been unable to talk the issues that affect Cameroonians. It is really, really sad. It means somewhere that the interest of the common man has been sold for common stomach issues of politicians. The politicians.
So when I hear very well the honesty of Dr. John Akko, there is a direct relationship between what you call a lawmaker, a people that were supposed to be championing the cause of the common man, a people that were supposed to be representing their constituency. They go against their constituency and stay in that house called Senate without being able to represent their people. They have sold their people for their stomach. They have sold their people. They have not just sit there quietly, but the fact that they carry that title as senators, parliamentarians, lawmakers, and they sit quiet while the Cameroon state slaughter their people, shows you the gravity of their crime. It shows you the gravity of their crime. So let's continue what Dr. Akko will say.
Remember the topic you hosted here last time. Who are politicians for? Who voted them? And when the people whom you think you are representing have a worry, we need to see you take on the restroom to present the worries of your people. Remember, we are not again teaching those who are in the two houses of Parliament, the Senate and the National Assembly, that they have an upper hand. They are equal contests of power with the President of the Republic. We are talking of what we call the neutrality bloc, the benevolent neutrality bloc, somewhere in 1955 in the Eastern House of Assembly in Nigeria, when Southern Cameroonians left as a bloc. The Nigerian government could not rule. And this puts the government to grant what they call a quasi-regional status for Southern Cameroon. It means somewhere parliamentarians have a cause. Could we just imagine that in the next session of Parliament, Southern Cameroonians decide to hold a church session in Boya and inform Yaoundé that if we can't talk this, then surely we are not part of the National Assembly? Could we imagine the consequences of what government will look like?
So, when I hear clearly, which way Dr. John Akko Edi talk. If all these parliamentarians, they be decisively and come good enough for Boya instead. Because clearly, La Republic didn't even get a debate about the war way in the wage for our territory. How can the people from our territory still be in that same House of Parliament when that government is waging a war against their own people, killing and slaughtering their own people, covering up for the crimes of their own people, banning and designated all their citizens for killing? How could you be in that same parliament? It's not possible. And he gave a very good example. In the time for Unugu, for the eastern region of the eastern legislature of Nigeria, when we were part of that system, our parliamentarians, they withdraw themselves as a bloc and return to Boya, and Nigerian government could not continue to rule them. They granted us a quasi-regional autonomy. So why can our senators not do the same? Of course, we know that the reason is that they were not actually elected by our people. These are people who got there by crook. These are people that were appointed, and fake elections were used to legitimize them, to put them in that position. So they are not representing our people. That's why even Dr. Akko will not say it, but we know that the reason is if these people were actually an equal arms of government, La Republique du Cameroon senator and their parliaments were equal arms of government, of course they will be able to do what they want to do and have a debate. But in that country, Mr. Paul Biya is the Alpha and Omega. He's head of the legislature, head of the judiciary. It is a dictatorship. It is not a democracy. These are people who are the most evil people in the world. This is worse than North Korea. At least North Korea is building their country and taking care of their people. But this man, this terrorist called Mr. Paul Biya, does not even love his own people. He does not even pay his own teachers. He does not even tie the road that goes to his own village. To show you how evil these people are. Yet they want to colonize us, take away the little we have, and make us their slave. It will not happen like that. So let's continue the video.
In 2 days, if members of parliament or National Assembly and Senate refuse to attend a session and say they will take a church session to discuss with God how Cameroon can be handled or the problem affecting their two regions can be handled. We are not saying they are citing, but they are simply using a method of presenting the plight of their people. This now sincerely, after the release of Senator Regina Mundy,
you say they are using institution to
sell their plight.
To sell their plight. Would you be very comfortable that you visit Boya and you are arrested because you are used for that message to go through? Because because
those who are fighting me, yes, they use me for that.
And you
will not be. I said you are not going to be comfortable, but they use you as what we call laboratory rats. Most often than not, are not human beings. We practice on a rat how we carry out an operation on a human being. Does not mean that the rat was meant for that sacrifice. So that is what I'm saying here. We might use international. We are equally sure, like I just said here, that the international human rights observers were equally watching at this case. And I'm telling you that the writings will be different. If by tomorrow or so, we have to read a lot of platforms, and the report was that it was human enough that she had been released. Can the government do otherwise? You find a lot of governments coming in again after this week to tell you that it is time that we can talk back. But we cannot, I tell you, there are fallout. Remember, there are fallout in every situation. At some levels, we might not insist or talk of what had happened before or what is going on now. But we continue laudably to say the government has the possibility. I said has the possibility. Members of the Senate and the National Assembly have the possibility of recounting what they have learned about Cameroon. Cameroon, 1961, Cameroon is a bijural state. We have two hereditary characters, and there is no denying about that. And so if we can try at all levels to handle issues affecting Cameroon, rather than depending, military armory that we don't even produce, that we can't even live. A lot of civil servants are still living on pay. Others are unable to be paid their advantages. And we are still receiving aids worth billion for military equipment. We just signed an agreement with Russia, meaning very soon we might be seeing a lot of Russian equipment coming to Cameroon on their account. And then a lot of those weapons, you find America fall out. Cameroon was kicked off AGOA because America thought that the weapons that were given for Boko Haram in the north are now being used in the two English regions. At the time we are fighting our own, we keep on hurting ourselves. And the economy is getting down. We cannot gainsay that the fact that CDC, which used to produce over 24 billion every year to the government, is unable to raise 15 billion.
Yeah, but government, what do you expect a government to do if people say we want to
hold on there. So you will not hear the very good case, I think, a very perfect, reasonable person, Dr. Eko John. He did talk, even though he did talk with fear, he did make the case, say, La République, they did spend all money where they no first get and fight Ambazonia. For key people, the way they consider them their own. Why they no go sit down for talk, have to negotiate, have to separate for this situation if he did the way we did. So it go on and on and on. But the point I want to bring up for now, ladies and gentlemen, now the fact for the truth of the matter. As you hear it go back, it talks for 1961. It's very obvious. It's not something people can debate. These two countries, it didn't go into the root causes. But La République du Cameroon annexed Ambazonia. There is ramification for this annexation. There is ramification for using fake reunification to covertly recolonize our territory. The consequences can be felt till this our day. And our people will not receive this punishment, this genocide, this humiliation as if it is a normal. No, we will not. So let's continue. We hear the last segment of Dr. Eko's speech and his opinions.
The government should give its blessing.
Mr. Leo, Cameroon is not the first country where people have presented a quest for separation. Cameroon is not the last that countries will present, or regions and villages will present a quest for separation. I believe right through in your village, if you remember well, there were few quarters in your village than they are today. There are few quarter heads 30 years ago in your village. And today there are more of those quarter heads. Have the village divided. The fact that a family want to move over from a family, we simply check the modus operandi of the time. How can we manage the situation? You can remember, we were at 10 states. We had 7 regions before now. Today we are 10. Ultimately, there were 2 federal systems. Meaning we have been moving from one management pattern to another because of which.
So the thing I say, you see the inability for people to speak out their mind. Dr. Eko John even talks it if he use it. He say if he come for inside Boya, Ambazonian forces they arrest it the same way they arrest Dr. Mundy. He go find and say it be perfectly normal for the forces them for do it so they need for do and for make their case. And it's a very brave statement that way he talk. I'm a very selfless person. I just like this guy. But we know with the experience we have had with people who are in this situation, there's not much you can say. But I can just say I just admire this guy, John Eko, and his spirit and how honest he be in a very tough situation where people don't have freedom to speak. You can lose your life in La République if you speak your mind. And what, oh my goodness, how could you live in a country where you cannot even express yourself? Is the worst type of life you can imagine. So, but either make a case, say, Ambazonian, either give your opinion, if you put another way, say Ambazonian, then get they understand, so we need to demonstrate force, we need to exert our sovereignty. This one, it can be even spoken by United Kingdom parliamentarians openly in their parliament. They actually say that Ambazonians have the right to exert their sovereignty. Those are very consequential statements. And we are the authority on the ground. We have a force on the ground. We will exert our sovereignty. We are exerting our sovereignty. We are not joking with anybody. If you play, you face the hammer of the law. And for all those traitors who are in La République du Cameroon, claiming to be parliamentarians when they are unelected, claiming to be mayors when they are unelected, claiming to be senators when they are unelected, or claiming to represent Ambazonia in a capacity that was appointed by a head of state that had no mandate from our people, that was not elected by our people, they should know that they are violating something very fundamental in our people, in our state, in our sovereignty, that we will not let go. There shall be consequences. There shall be consequences. So maybe we finish the other part of the speech with Dr. Eko Dimekam.
So if I get you very well, Ayabacho, Sako, Capo Daniel and the rest, they are not ready to separate Cameroon. Is that not what they are fighting for?
They may be fighting, but that might not be the popular opinion. The government knows very well the opinion that holds. Okay, get to Cameroonians.
Yeah, but you are so concerned about the monies that the government is using to buy equipment.
So let the technical, yeah. So John Eko, Munofile la Republic, their intelligence chief would call Eko. Dr. Eko, John, he talks say definitely mean la Republic for talk, they for negotiate. But you know, if you definitely push for go for, I've already expressed itself. We know that one very well because of the place we did. And he called the name of my name called Dr. Chua by name. I think definitely we are the face of the organization. It does not mean that I and Dr. Chua we are the only people. Of course, the Governing Council is a very big organization with a lot of people who are within it. You have the ADF as well, Benedictwa, Sheikh Avi, Mama Wali, Iron Lady, Mangi, the Vice President, Dr. Larry Ayamba, and all those powerful people who are in the back scene making things happen. So definitely, it talks a lot of Republic for she don't negotiate about separation, negotiate about which way Ambazonia want them, and that is the right thing to do. They have to negotiate their way out of this war. They have no choice. We will bleed them out of our country, even if they don't. So we don't care about that. But the most important thing the doctor Editokam, it make this case for our separation, our rationale for our separation, and the rationale of our conduct, being the people that understand. So this is not unusual. This is normal. This is normal. It talks back in this country there were just two. There was just two. So let's continue.
Yeah, but you're not also concerned about the fact that so much war draft is being done to buy equipment for the
Mr. Leon,
on the other side.
No, you have forgotten too that others have held international conferences without drafting for war, who are seeking for a forum to dialogue. You have forgotten of the Confederation of Federalists. We have forgotten about the coalition for dialogue and negotiation. Conferences that people have sponsored a lot of money to. Money raised, which others even doubted. Where did they have their money? You have forgotten about the All Anglophone Conference. It was not all about arms. The government perturbed the organization of sub-seminars within Cameroon.
The All Anglophone Conference, did it receive the blessings of the separatists?
A lot of them were there. I mean, a lot.
The All Anglophone Conference?
It might not be all. I said it might not be all, but a lot. Faction of Anglophones were for it.
Separatists, I'm not talking about.
We don't know who is a separatist. You might have leaders, and there are leaders with Christian Cardinal to me. A lot of them were talking with him.
Who blessed
you? Have
no, those play ahead. I want our people to pay attention to what he's going to say next. It's very important. Listen very carefully.
For example, which faction blessed it?
You could see somebody like Eric Tato, who went closer to his Lord Bishop of Bamenda in Kia when he visited the US.
Which faction? Which faction? We have the ADF.
There are a lot of factions which cannot faction blessed. Me and you don't belong to any.
Which faction blessed it?
I said a lot of them.
For example,
when you talk of, for example, you have few. There are more than 20.
It talk about Kia, the Andrew Kia, the bishop in Bamenda, the Catholic bishop in Bamenda. We know, say that Catholic bishop in Bamenda is working for Cameroon intelligence. We have more than 4 priests who have contacted us that bishop is receiving messages from the presidency of La République du Cameroon to pass them down to priests, to preach them on the pulpit, to help to neutralize our people's resistance and to accept one Cameroon. We know that he was sent to Bamenda for a mission. The former bishop who was in Bamenda was not doing exactly what Paul Biya wanted him to do. As a matter of fact, he was exposing a lot of things, sending out messages and asking institutions within the Catholic Church to tell the world exactly what was going on. Cardinal Tumi was also having a very powerful voice to explain what was going on. But this man, who we know is a con man, this Bishop Kia is a con man. We have a very good file about his life before he became a bishop. There are bishops who have abandoned priestlyhood. I mean, 2 bishops that I know who have contacted me abandoned priestlyhood when this man was made a bishop. He's a member of the Rosicrucian court. He was sent in Bamenda on a mission to help La République du Cameroon. This man is an agent of La République. He is the main person helping La République in their so-called DDR center. He is an outreach. That's why you see him going to meet the colonial and terrorists, Lele Afrique, even after the killing of people in Bamenda Ayaba Hotel and the burning of Bengui Road. So we know very well what he's doing. This man is a devil. I always say that I'm a Christian. I love God. I worship God. I love Jesus Christ, my Lord and my Savior. But our people should know that many of these people that they consider men of God are devils. I remember when my former principal of St. Paul, Reverend Father Joseph Bokima, Father Joseph, I forgot his other name, he died. And I came out and I told our people that that man was sleeping with a lot of underage girls. And people were saying, why are you saying that about Father? You should know the truth, who these people are. They wear this collar, they pretend that they are men of God. Many of them are devils. A lot of them are saints. I talk to a lot of priests. There are a lot of Catholic nuns who call me to do prayer. I mean, they call me to make prayer over me. They pray for Ambazonia, they pray for our freedom. A lot of the Catholic nuns and priests are very good people, but some of them are working for the devil. And this Bishop Andrew Carl is one of them. This man, my principal was in St. Paul. I was even dating girls that was sleeping with that priest. And when that priest was traveling to Yaoundé for their mission, traveling to Boya, he will ask the family of these girls to accompany him to Yaoundé Boya. And he will be sleeping with these girls in hotels, giving them money. I was in high school. When I'm not corny, I'm Mr. No Corny. I will never lie to you people. I will tell you the truth. Those girls are still alive today. Some of them are married. And when Father Joseph died, you see how the mothers were crying. I was looking at this. I said, God will be frowning his face. We are not saying all priests are bad, but we are saying that people should not look at them like they are saints and so all of them are working with God. This Bishop Andrew Carl is not working for God. He's working for the devil. He's working for Paul Biya. He has blood coming out of his mouth like a vampire. He's an occultic member. He belongs to the Rosicrucian. He's there in Bamenda to work for Paul Biya. If you are taking communion from this man, be very careful. You may be taking the devil's communion, not the body of Christ. So you saw when he went to America to meet Eric Tato. I told you people that he was going there for Paul Biya. You people did not understand. Now you have heard Dr. Eko out of a slip of a tongue. He have told you the truth about Eric Tato, his meeting with this man. What was it all about? He has told you his inclination. I will not go there. You don't need to beat a dead horse. Anyway, let's continue.
one's groups. We don't belong to it. So that's just what I want. I don't want to get listed here because I'm not a member to any.
Okay, please, I want us to get the first reactions of Senator Regina Mundy after her release of yesterday.
Excellency.
So I think that is the end of that excerpt of that video. I wanted to put across our own perspective on those topics that were discussed in Prime Hour. You know, Prime Hour is a very nice TV channel, but unfortunately, it is also a TV channel that their manager, I'm not talking about Mr. Leo Kum, their manager will make sure that the type of people they host there are people that are working for Cameroon intelligence. It is not a balanced program. They don't have Ambazonian advocates to come there and freely express their mind and challenge the other opinions, but they bring people there that are working for the so-called DDR Center to come and speak and spew Cameroon propaganda like there were some serious opinions that people need to take notice of. So, our fellow Ambazonians, I am Capo Daniel. I am the spokesperson of the Ambazonian Governing Council. We are the authority of the land. We have a mandate from our people for independence, separation, and outright freedom for our people. Our mandate is clean and clear. Our cause is just. Our territory, the former British Southern Cameroon, that is Ambazonia, is a recolonized territory. The Ambazonia Governing Council is properly constituted to represent the interests of our people. We have the right and the power under the laws and principles of territorialism to make laws in the land that we control with our forces. We take that responsibility for our common good very seriously. The laws that we make on the ground are very consequential and at sometimes can determine life or death for a lot of people. If you breach our law that are made for the common good of our people, you will face our soldiers. This should be a warning to all those who are in La Republique who intend to visit our territory at some point, to know that they will be held accountable for the languages they use that undermines the interests of our people, that may cross the line from free speech to treasonous alterations. Be very careful out there. Be very, very careful. We know that people will not take us seriously because that is how they see us. For many years, our people have gone through slavery. For many years, they went through colonization. And for the last almost 100 years ago, we went through the trusteeship period where our rights as a people were undermined. We were not even given the right to determine our own future. The United Kingdom decided to decide for us in a plebiscite and handed our sovereignty to La République du Cameroon, who does not even think that we have a right of concern. They don't even think that we have a right to exist as a people, let alone the right to govern our territory or the dignity to sit on the table with them like two states. They have undermined our territory using implanted agents and La République du Cameroon citizens like Jongu Foncha, who was born in Chang, by his parents who ran away from their village into Chang. And they brought him, the Catholic Church received him, gave him Nkwen names. He disguised himself, dressing with Bamenda clothes, calling himself with Ambazonian names. And soon after he became Prime Minister, business people in Douala was moving into Ambazonia to form political parties to represent us. Bamelekes, who were in our territory like refugees, they became citizens and were now fighting for chieftaincy position within our territory. And today, our own indigenous people, they don't have any voice. We are the voice of our indigenous people. We are the law of the land. We are the authority of Ambazonia. And our decrees and our audit stands, and our force will back it up. Independence means independence. God bless you all.